Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are hopping right into this tutorial, starting with the prep of our tumbler. First thing you want to do is sand and wash your tumbler, and then you're going to want to go ahead and spray paint your base. Today I am using the Krylon Color Max paint and primer in flat white. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing a 5-color ombre using these UV color shifting glitters. You can see all of them here down below, but I will also leave the names of them in the description as well. Let's go ahead and begin. So you can see I've already spray painted the tumbler. First thing we're going to want to do is mix our epoxy. I'm using the ultra clear fast set from Counterculture. You're going to mix your equal parts of A and B together, and you want to mix that in very well. We're going to only take about maybe 2 to 3 mLs for this style of tumbler. The tumbler I'm using today is a 22-ounce fatty from the Stainless Steel Depot. Again, I will leave everything that we use in the description down below. You want to make sure that your epoxy is super thin because we are going to be using it as an adhesive. Now, I want to just note that this technique was pretty challenging. I am not new to doing ombres at all, but you guys know that usually when we do ombres and multicolor glitter tumblers, they usually have some sort of color to them. And yes, even though these are color changing and they change in the sun, when they are inside, they are all white. So I took on the challenge and decided that this is going to be a really cool technique that I've had in my head that I wanted to do with these glitters. So I took it head on and started with the bottom of the tumbler. The first color I'm using here on the bottom is our UV white to purple. So I am doing a 5-color ombre transition, and I wanted to keep it like the rainbow. So the bottom is going to be purple, and then I'm going to move on to the top side once I'm done sprinkling on the purple and going in with the UV white to pink. So the 5 colors we're going to be using is the white to pink, white to orange, white to yellow, white to blue, and then the last color is white to purple down at the bottom. I decided to work from bottom and then to the top so that I can have a base for how much glitter I'm going to be laying down on the entire tumbler, and then I'm going to start moving into the middle colors. I thought that that would give me just a base down of where I wanted to lay my glitters. Again, I'm kind of ombreing here blindly. I know the technique. I do it pretty well when it comes to regular glitter colors. So I was kind of keeping that technique that I use with the light sprinkling and moving my tumbler up and down to be able to create that fade. And it ended up working out really well. So you can see just how I'm doing this, lightly sprinkling, moving my tumbler up and down, and moving in between all the colors. It's kind of hard to see here what I'm doing because at the end of the day, the tumbler is going to look completely white until we walk out into the sun. But I really enjoyed challenging myself with this today, and I hope you guys love how this turned out. So right now what I'm doing is just going over those colors again and trying to blend them in. Again, I know you guys see this is white, but I tried to envision what colors I was using, what colors they are truly going to be outside in the sun, and just using that vision in my mind to help me blend the colors together. So you can see what that tumbler looks like here now. And yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward through this part right here. You can just see that I'm going to be blending, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now that we got all the colors laid down, we let that cure for 2 hours, and we're going in now with a top coat of the ultra clear facet again. And yeah, just putting it on the tumbler all over, making sure that I have really good coverage. Because there are 5 colors on here, I want to go in with a nice decent amount of coverage with the epoxy. I don't want to go in thin. I don't want to be moving the glitter all around and pushing the glitter around. You can definitely seal this with either quick coat or a spray sealer before doing this, just to ensure that the glitters are not going to move. I didn't actually do it with this one because I kind of wanted the colors to move around and blend, because we were using 5 different colors and they're all UV. That was just my personal preference. You can definitely seal before this part if you want to, but going in with a thicker coat of epoxy definitely helps with the glitter staying put, I guess, if that makes any sense, because I'm not pushing the glitter around that much. I'm just letting the epoxy flow over the tumbler, and then I am just kind of moving the epoxy with my fingers instead of the glitter. And I hope that makes sense to you guys, but you can watch and see what I'm doing here as I'm smoothing that out. But once I got my epoxy laid down, I'm gonna just go in with my heat gun, blast that just a little bit to even out the epoxy and make sure that whatever bubbles are resurfacing on the top do get popped. You can also go in with your torch, but heat gun was enough for me at this point. And then here you can see I'm actually going over with my UV light just to kind of see what the colors look like so far. Just note that your UV colors aren't going to be as bright or accurate under an artificial light. Some colors don't shift the correct color under artificial UV light, so you won't know what they look like until you take them outside to the true sun. But this was just a test that I wanted to show you guys that everything was working really well and it looked pretty good. Now in this next clip, you can see I took a picture outside the next day once it was cured, and I just love how it turned out. Next thing you want to do is get your chevron cut out. I actually got this cut out from the Cricut design space. If you're ever looking for a design and you have Cricut design space, definitely go there and search through your images. A lot of the images that I use come straight from there. I do pay extra for Cricut access, but to me it's worth it and I get a lot of use from it. In my previous video when I did the drip cup, I used the drip image from Cricut design space as well. So with a wrap, you always want to measure the circumference of your tumbler to see just how big you need your design. With this one, I actually thought I measured it correctly, but ended up coming a little bit short, but I ended up fixing it and it worked out pretty well. You'll see what I end up doing at the end of this video. Now, what I went and did here was just eyeballed and see like where I needed to lay down my design, and then I just smooth it on around the whole entire tumbler. And just making sure that everything is nice and flat. There aren't any air bubbles or creases or anything like that. Again, I am using a non-permanent adhesive vinyl for this. And you can see in the back that it didn't line up exactly close. It has a little bit of a space. Again, I do end up fixing that, which I think it turned out pretty cool. And once you get your design or your vinyl cutout on here, you want to very carefully peel up your contact sheet and make sure there aren't any air bubbles or anything sticking up, because we are going to spray paint over this and you do not want the spray paint to get underneath your vinyl design. So once you get your vinyl design completely on there, you want to take it outside and spray paint. Again, I am using the Krylon flat white spray paint for this one, just making sure to get a nice even coat on here. And yeah, just spraying it on nice and evenly, checking it out, making sure that there are no see-through parts on it. You want it to be completely opaque for this part. So once you get that done and it's nice and dry, then you can go in with your tools and start removing your vinyl design. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was so impatient to pick up the vinyl that the spray paint here was still a little bit wet, and I actually ended up making a little mistake and scratching a part of the spray paint. So just remember to take your time, let your tumbler completely dry when you are getting ready to pull up your vinyl, so that you don't make any mistakes when you're using these sharp little tools and the spray paint is wet. It can be a little slippery and hard to peel. So make sure that your spray paint is fully dry before doing this part, so that you don't make any mistakes in your paint. Either way, I am so extremely happy with how this tumbler turned out. It was something that I had in my mind for a long time that I knew I wanted to do with these UV glitters, and I'm really excited, and I hope you guys love how this turned out in spite of the little tiny little flaws that, whatever, still look good in my opinion. So I'm gonna just fast forward through this little part here, and you can watch as I remove the vinyl design. And once we finish removing the vinyl design from here, we'll let this fully dry and then go in with a top coat of resin. So once I was done with the vinyl design, I had an idea to add this holographic opal vinyl, and I'm really happy that I did go with that choice because I ended up really loving how it looked here. Because the design didn't line up completely and there was that little space there, I just didn't want to leave it a plain white space. So I went and made the decision to add the holographic opal vinyl, and I really love how it turned out. I think it looks really great against the white when it's inside, and just even better when it is outside against the rainbow glitter outside. So once I apply it, I'm gonna take it outside so you guys can see how the tumbler looks like outside before we go and apply our resin. So here you can see I am walking outside. I am completely obsessed with how this tumbler turned out and the shift of it. I have to say that I am super proud of myself for being able to blend these colors so well, especially with being inside and them all being white. I think I did a pretty great job with blending them, and it looks pretty great, and I can't not wait to hear what you guys think of this. And if you're gonna try this out, definitely let me know, and I'm excited. Look at that picture, I just think it looks great. So now it's time to go ahead and apply our coat of epoxy. For this step, I used counterculture resin again, but decided to go in with the artist resin. Because this tumbler is white inside, it is not recommended to use the fast set, although it is the ultra clear fast set that I use. It's not recommended to use over the white because it can turn it slightly yellow. So I decided to go in with the artist resin instead, and I went and mixed in a little bit of the silver moon dust in here to give that white just a little bit of a sparkle. Originally I was going to leave it flat white, but I just love my glitter and I love my silver moon dust, so I mixed it in and went ahead and applied that all over the tumbler. Alright, so we're going to just speed through this part right here as I apply the resin all over the tumbler. Pretty basic, just make sure that everything is completely covered. It's nice and smooth. You can go in with your heat gun and your torch to pop any bubbles that may surface on the top. Guys, I enjoyed so much doing this tutorial for you guys. Not only was it fun, but it was also challenging, and I think that I executed it pretty well. It was something that I had in my mind for a while, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out. And I hope you guys like it. And if you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted every time we upload a brand new video. On my channel, it is my goal to upload tutorial videos for you guys 3 days a week. You can expect a video from me every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But be sure to join me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Etsy shop. All those will be listed down below. I do updates on my social media as often as possible, so be sure to check those links out and follow me there. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you next time.